What is up, people, and welcome back to part 60 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the American Grand Prix. If you missed Season 1, Season 2, and the first 17 rounds of this third season, and you can go catch up with everything that's happened over this career mode so far. If you click the little card annotation in the top right corner of your screens, then you can find everything that's happened with this F1 2016 career mode. Last time out at the Japanese Grand Prix is probably one of my best races I've ever had in this career mode. Not because of the result, we did only get second place, but it was because I finally conquered one of my worst circuits on the whole entire F1 calendar. Apart from Spain, I'd probably say it's my worst circuit. So to get second place there was a really decent result for us, and we were able to upgrade the car last time out. We probably should have upgraded it for the Japanese Grand Prix, but unfortunately made mistakes. We are upgrading it for now for the American Grand Prix, so let's head over to Chris and see what he has to say on that.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
So it was the downforce that we upgraded last time out at the Japanese Grand Prix. And there we go, 4 out of 5 upgrades on the downforce, which is kind of what we need to focus on this Force India. It's very tricky through the corners, so upgrading the chassis weight and the downforce is now really the only thing that we have to worry about. Then we'll worry about fuel efficiency once everything else is done. It also looks like Red Bull Racing have also upgraded their car, improving their fuel consumption. They got the race win last time out of the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm not too sure how much fuel consumption is going to do for them. They've only moved above Haas F1 team. They are the 4th worst team so far in this career mode. But to go get a race win last time out of the Japanese Grand Prix, that just shows you how competitive it is in this season. So we've got 913 resource points left to spend. And that's probably either going to be on the chassis weight or on the downforce. We just have to wait and see what we decide to do after today's American Grand Prix, if we have enough resource points at the end of it. But one way of getting more resource points is, of course, taking part in the practice sessions and doing the practice objectives. So here we are in practice for the American Grand Prix in a very wet and rainy practice session on the full wet tyres. Coming around the final corner now, down towards the line and smashing the track acclimatization on the second lap and getting 525 points out of 525. So literally hitting it on the mark. But nevertheless, we do get the purple score, and that's really going to help us in terms of upgrading this car towards the end of the season. Down in 22nd position, but I believe the circuit did actually dry up as the session went on. But here we are doing the tyre wear management. 1 red out of the whole set of purples, so we're not too worried about that. There's a purple score at the end of the day, lots of resource points to spend, and we're going to allow a driver through right now. But really good result there in FP2, getting the tyre wear management perfect, and more resource points to spend at the end of this session. So that's going to be really, really good, really, really handy across the rest of the season, like I've already said. 22nd at the end of the session once again, but lap times do not count in FP2. Lap times do count, however, in FP3 on the qualifying objective. Coming down across the line, and unfortunately we could only get a 1:38.376. That was our best lap time in FP3, and unfortunately it was not good enough to beat the qualifying objective. So a little bit disappointing there, but qualifying has never been my strongest point in this whole entire career mode, especially in the qualifying objective. So 19th position on the super soft tyres, down in FP3, does not set us up well for the qualifying session. Hopefully we can prove ourselves wrong and do something in qualifying, but it's going to be very, very difficult indeed. But let's see what we can do as we head over to the qualifying session. It's qualifying time here at the Circuit of the Americas. We'll be looking to get out of Q1 and into Q2 and then really see what we can do. It's not one of my best circuits in terms of 1 lap pace. I'm good in terms of tyres, but in terms of rate, in terms of 1 lap pace, it's not very good at all. Our best lap time so far, though, is a 1:37.830. It's not the best of lap times. Unfortunately, we are slower than Felipe Nasr, so we will be looking to improve that as the session goes on. Here we are through the penultimate corner, running it a little bit too wide, going down towards the final corner now. We're so far about 4 tenths up, but as we go through the final corner, down towards line, 4 tenths quicker. Is it going to be enough for an improvement? Whereabouts does that put us on the grid? And it's not enough to get into Q2. It's only good enough for 18th position in Q1, and that has knocked us out right down at the back of the field. Nico Hulkenberg does get through in P6, but it's a disappointing result for us here today in today's qualifying session. Because there we are, down in 18th place. Lewis Hamilton also getting knocked out. So a surprise result there for the Mercedes driver. And look, we weren't exactly that good, you know. 4 tenths off, 5 tenths off of Q2. You know, we kind of deserve to be out in Q1. And we're not very good in terms of one lap pace. And we will need to pick that up. Hopefully, our race pace is a lot quicker at this American Grand Prix. And we can do what we did at Japan, where we made a lot of positions at the start, made our way through the field, and actually got second place. So if we can do something like that, then we'll be certainly on for a very good race indeed. But without any further ado, let's head over to the race for the American Grand Prix. It's race day here at the circuit of the Americas for round 18 of this season 3, the American Grand Prix. It was a disappointing qualifying session for us yesterday, qualifying down in 18th place on the grid, which means that we are going to have a very exciting race ahead of us, making our way through the field, trying to make as many overtakes as we possibly can to try and get back up into a point scoring position. It's not too much of a surprise though, seeing as the last couple of seasons we've not tended to do very well in qualifying towards the end of the season. It's something that we have really struggled with, and we do need to try and change that going into the last couple of races. Looking at the Drivers' Championship there, very quickly, 55 points is the gap between Carlos Sainz and myself. He can win the Drivers' Championship here today if he wins the race and we don't score any points. It's looking like that could happen, as Nico Rosberg is today's pole sitter. So very surprising there from the Mercedes driver. Mercedes haven't been particularly good in this season. Neither have Ferrari or Red Bull, but those guys have seemed to be on the starting grid right at the front. I think it's Nico Rosberg first, the 2 Ferraris second and third, then the Red Bulls third and fourth. So the fourth and fifth, sorry. So very, very good there from those teams. Looking at the race strategy for today, they want me to go softs and then mediums. That would be the comfortable setup to go for, because we will definitely make it to the end. But looking at the personalised one, after we did the tyre wear management, they want me to go onto the super softs and then onto the softs. So that's what I'm going to stick with at the moment. But if I feel like the tyres are degrading a bit too quickly, I will go onto the 2-stop strategy with 2 sets of super softs and a set of softs, putting myself up for a bit more fuel so I can go a bit faster at the start. And let's get this race underway with the formation lap right down at the back of the field. I've got Lewis Hamilton just ahead of me. I've also got a Renault of Kevin Magnussen in 15th. Danny Kvyat in 13th. The Manor of Haryanto and Pascal Wehrlein 16th and 14th. So it was a really weird qualifying session in terms of where everybody finished. You know, usually you expect the Toro Rossos to be at the front, the Renaults to be out the front, Nico Hulkenberg to be up there. Myself, you know, it just depends on how well I do circuit to circuit. But it was really surprising to see a lot of the field mixed up and jumbled about in the standings. So it could be a very, very exciting race here today. But here we are on the formation lap, and we're just going to head back to the starting grid for today's race. Here we are then on the grid for today's American Grand Prix. Nico Rosberg lines up in pole position. It's 5 red lights. It's lights out, and away we go for today's American Grand Prix as we run down towards turn 1. It looks like it's a good start compared to the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Down in towards turn 1. Going up the inside of Esteban Gutierrez, getting very close there to the Haas driver. Up the inside of a load of drivers, and we are already up into P10 in this race, gaining 8 positions in one corner. Fantastic start there here at the American Grand Prix, going through this very nice S's section, which sort of mirrors Maggots and Beckett's of the British Grand Prix. So very nice to see the cars flowing through those corners. But so far, currently running in P10, right behind the McLaren of Fernando Alonso. But we are under pressure right now from the Renault of Jolyon Palmer. We go down in towards this hairpin. Can we do anything on Fernando Alonso through here? Yes, we can. Up the inside of him, right behind Ricciardo there, losing the back end ever so slightly because of the contact between the two of us. And unfortunately, that overtake has also cost us a position to Jolyon Palmer with that faster straight line speed on the right hand side. But now we're following in the slipstream of both Alonso and Jolyon Palmer, moving over to the right hand side in the braking zone, 3 wide between us as we go very deep to try and get a switchback move on these guys, and actually just clipping Fernando Alonso just a tiny amount there, but enough to lose a little bit of our front right end plate, and unfortunately making a bit of damage on our front wing. And the virtual safety car has been deployed for something that happened down to that corner. So was there a problem with us going 3 wide into the corner? Hopefully you have a replay of what's happened there. But first, let's have a look at the start. So here we are just watching at the back markers at the moment as they go through turn 1. It's a weird turn 1. There's a lot of different lines, and it looks like the 2 lines of the Manor and Danny Kvyat got caught up. I think it was Pascal Wehrlein and Danny Kvyat caught up. It could have been Rio Haryanto, those. They're all very close together. But here's on board with Esteban Gutierrez, watching the freeway battle between the three of us, and yeah, Esteban Gutierrez just got a tiny clip there from myself, so I tried to avoid Fernando Alonso, which I didn't actually do properly because I got that front wing damage, and that forced Esteban Gutierrez into a bit of a spin. But here we are on lap 2. The safety car has ended, the virtual safety car has ended, and we've gone up the inside of Fernando Alonso there. Very easy move on the McLaren driver, moving us back up into the points, and right behind Jolyon Palmer running on those soft tyres. So we'll be looking to get past him as soon as we possibly can. And here we are right behind him on the midway stage of lap 2, going through the stadium section right now, and a little bit of a dive bomb up the inside in towards this stadium section there on the left hand side. And there we go, good move on Jolyon Palmer to move us up into P9 in this race. And up next for us is Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. Then it's the Ferrari, I believe, of Kimi Raikkonen, and there is our championship rival Carlos Sainz running just behind Jenson Button at this stage of the race. And here we are right behind Daniel Ricciardo right now, going down in towards turn 1, setting the fastest lap of the race so far, so that's really nice. But then Rio Haryanto goes and takes it away from us, and Felipe Massa takes it away from him. So a lot of different drivers setting the fastest lap there on lap 2. But going up the inside of Daniel Ricciardo, Jenson Button looked like he ran very deep into turn 1, and we're just going to say thank you very much and take that 6th place away from him as well. Now right behind Sebastian Vettel, who we will be looking to try and make an overtake on very, very soon indeed. And here we are going down the DRS straight, down in towards this left-hander, getting an easy move there on Sebastian Vettel. And that is another easy position gain. Moving up into P6. Sorry, I was up into P4 before that. Now I'm up into P6, right behind my championship rival of Carlos Sainz. So we will be looking to get past him as we're on board with Kimi Raikkonen. What's going to go on here? No! Kimi Raikkonen has had an engine failure in today's race, and that is really disappointing. Not because I wanted Kimi Raikkonen to get a good result. I just wanted him to stay in front of Carlos Sainz, to try and make Carlos Sainz get as less positions as he possibly can in this race, so that he doesn't gain that many points on me. So at the moment, he is only gaining 2 points on me in the standings as he goes up the inside of Nico Hülkenberg, who makes a mistake into the final corner. However, that has actually held up both Carlos Sainz and Nico Hülkenberg. Once again, I set the fastest lap of the race. This time, it looks like nobody is taking that away from me as I go up the inside of Carlos Sainz side by side, but just about squeezing out the Toro Rosso driver and taking P3 away from him. So doing really well so far in this American Grand Prix, starting down in 18th position, remember. But now I am running in 3rd place. So it's been a really good start to today's race, seeing as we're only on lap 4. 18 to 3rd in 4 laps is a really, really good start to today's race. But we're on board with Carlos Sainz right now. Can he do anything to get that position back? We know that Toro Rosso is very, very quick this season, going down in towards this left hand, this hairpin just before the DRS straight. He's going to have a little look up the inside. Can he do anything? No, he's made contact with us. Carlos Sainz, what on earth are you doing? Then Nico Hülkenberg helps him face the right way. We are unfortunately facing the wrong way, and we're going to lose out so much time. We've lost position all the way to Sebastian Vettel, down in 7th place, just ahead of Jenson Button. But Carlos Sainz, what on earth were you doing down to that hairpin? His nose wasn't far enough up the inside. Yes, we did leave the door open, but we were taking our usual line of a wider approach. Carlos Sainz just dips his nose up the inside, not enough, puts us into a spin. And is that because he knows that if neither of us score points in today's race, that's going to really help him in the championship and make it easier for him to win the championship? Because if we score more points than him, it's just going to take us closer and closer to trying to beat him in the championship. But here we are right behind Sebastian Vettel, currently running in 7th place, going up the inside there of Sebastian Vettel. Great move through the long right-hander, and I wasn't really expecting to go up the inside of Sebastian Vettel there. I wasn't expecting him to go slowly, but maybe his tyres were just getting the better of him as he is deciding to come into the pits on the end of lap 4. And here we are on the end of lap 6 right now. A couple more drivers coming into the pits as we go down in towards turn 1. I believe these are the 2 leaders of the race, of Max Verstappen and Nico Rosberg, both deciding to come into the pits. So I think they're doing the two-stopper in today's race, where I think a lot of other drivers are just doing a 1. So there's a few different strategies going amongst the field at this stage of the race. Carlos Sainz in the pits right now on the end of lap 8, on the end of lap 7, start to lap 8. And it looks like we're going to go up the inside, down in towards turn 1, and take that position away from him as he is still in the pit lane. As Nico Rosberg goes up the inside, doing exactly the same thing as Carlos Sainz did. Not enough of his front nose up the inside. Taking a little bit of a move there and just squeezing us out, going into the side of us. Luckily this time there's no damage, there's no spin from us, but Nico Rosberg does lose out a position to Max Verstappen, who is right on our tail at the moment. These guys are on quicker tyres. He goes around the outside through this S's section. Can he hold it up the inside? Yes, he can. But he's taking a bit of a weird line, and we say thank you very much. We take the position back away from him and move back up into third place. So very good racing at the moment between the likes of us. And going down into the hairpin, just ahead of Max Verstappen still, and Nico Hülkenberg still trying to hold on to this position. And here we are cutting to the same place, but on lap 10. And we have Max Verstappen, Nico Rosberg, Carlos Sainz, Danny Kvyat all behind us at the moment. I think we've got a Manor and a Renault behind us as well. So it looks like Max Verstappen following in the slipstream, using the DRS, pulling over to the right-hand side. That Renault engine isn't particularly quick there, but Red Bull have done a few upgrades recently. And he goes around the outside in towards that left-hander, and unfortunately it's just not enough to go for the overtake. But he's going to try it around the outside in towards this stadium section. Can he do anything to get past? He's got the inside line in towards this next corner, and it looks like he's going to get the position done. It looks like also doing that has allowed Nico Rosberg to take the position away from us as well. Now we've got Danny Kvyat right on our tail. So luckily for us, it's not Carlos Sainz, but we still would like to finish ahead of both Toro Rossos coming in towards this left-hander now of the penultimate corner. And I think it's going to be time to come into the pits. Not quite yet, but we will be coming into pits on lap 11, which I believe is our scheduled pit stop as well. So right behind Nico Rosberg right now, going down in towards the start-finish straight. But unfortunately, we just can't quite get Nico Rosberg or Max Verstappen down this straight. Those two guys on the fresher tyre than us, unfortunately, just holding on to that position. So we're not able to get past Nico Rosberg and Max Verstappen at this stage of the race, but we are on a different strategy, so hopefully that will play back into our hands. We're on board with Jenson Button. So what's going on here for the McLaren driver? He hasn't had much luck in the last two races. In Malaysia, he got that punch. In Japan, he got another puncher as well, finishing down in the field. So here we are on board Jenson Button through the S's section, and he's had an engine failure. His luck goes from bad to worse in this third season. He's had an engine failure. He is out of today's race, pulling off the circuit, and it's another disappointing race there from Jenson Button. The virtual safety car is deployed because of that engine failure from the McLaren driver, and we're just going to have to drive to a delta time, neutralise the field, but it is going to help us out because the virtual safety car is out as we start to go into our pits. I think it's gone green right now, so a bit unfortunate on the time, and if it had gone a little bit later, we would have gained time on our pit stop, but unfortunately that's not the case here today, and we are coming into pits for a new set of soft tyres which will take us all the way to the end of the race. We need to be careful on the set of tyres, not burn them too quickly, and just make sure that they make it till the end of the race. And whereabouts are we going to come out in the field? I think a lot of the field is quite clumped together, and are we going to come out in some free air? I think we are just behind a Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo, I believe that is, and my teammate Nico Hülkenberg, but we are in some clean air at the moment. I think way down the field though, in like P15 at this stage of the race. And here we are on lap 15 at the moment, down in P8. A few drivers in the pits right now as they go down towards turn 1. Are we going to come out ahead of these guys? One of them's there. There's the other one. It's Carlos Sainz. We need to get out in front of Carlos Sainz, going around the outside in towards turn 1. We're going to get a great drive out of the corner. He squeezes us all the way to the exit of the corner, but a great drive through that corner gives us position, and there we go, up into P7 in this race. But most importantly, we are ahead of Carlos Sainz, who is of course our championship rival. We need to make sure that we beat him. We are cutting ahead now to lap 16, as it looks like Daniel Ricciardo and somebody else is now coming into the pit, so we need to make sure that we do get ahead of these guys. Sebastian Vettel is another driver who has just come into the pit, so that pushes us up into P4 so far in this race. I'm not too sure whether Nico Hülkenberg is making another pit stop in this race or not. If he does, that means we get a podium place. If he doesn't, that means that we are trying to hold on to this P4, but we are defending so hard right now from Carlos Sainz. He's right on our tail, and here he is going down in towards turn 1. Can he do anything in towards this next corner? Up the inside, will he dive it? We've made a mistake. We've run it a bit too wide into the corner. Once again, there's contact between Carlos Sainz and myself. He gets a huge shunt there from the manner of Rio Haryanto. Good on you, Haryanto, trying to crash him out, because Carlos Sainz, what on earth were you doing? The first one, you know, was kind of acceptable. You went up the inside, there was a tiny bit amount of contact, but this one, you drove out wide, you pushed me off the track as much as you possibly can, but unfortunately, in doing so, has put me into a spin and has lost me even more time to Nico Rosberg. I haven't lost position, luckily enough, but I have lost time to Nico Rosberg and Carlos Sainz. What on earth were you doing through this corner? A little bit of contact, like what happened last time around, but this time putting me into a spin. I get the car turned around. Rio Haryanto helped me out there. And looks like he also got past, and so did the Renault of Jolyon Palmer. So that was good news that he got overtaken by 2 drivers, but still, Carlos Sainz, what on earth are you doing, man? You know, if you want to win a world championship, that is not the way to do it. You do not win it by taking out your closest rivals. So on board with Rio Haryanto right now on lap 22. He will be following in the slipstream and the DRS as we go down in towards this left corner. And what can he do? Can he follow in the slipstream? Is he going to be powerful enough to go around the outside? I think it is. Under braking, Rio Haryanto round the outside of this corner. Not quite enough to get past us. So there's a little bit of contact between him and the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Whoa! Huge amount of contact between him and the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Huge surprise from that one. Rio Haryanto not too sure what he was doing. He's trying to get back onto the racing line. And a big amount of contact between him and Lewis Hamilton. Here's on board with Rio Haryanto. So he tries to go around the outside in towards this left-hander. A little bit of contact there with Sebastian Vettel. He turns right, tries to get back onto the racing line. Contact with the rear of Daniel Ricciardo. I think his rear then went into Lewis Hamilton. Hopefully we get confirmation of that and a replay on board with the Mercedes driver. But for now, he's on board with Sebastian Vettel going into the left-hander. And there's just a tiny amount of contact, like what Carlos Sainz has been doing. But this time around, it's not really Sebastian Vettel's fault. Rio Haryanto got caught up because of me. He tried to come back onto the racing line, sort of cut across Sebastian Vettel. And here's on board with Lewis Hamilton. And there's the contact. A lot of contact there from Rio Haryanto sent into the spin. Not a lot on board with Lewis Hamilton. Luckily for him, he doesn't damage his front wing, but disappointing there to lose out so much time towards the rest of his competitors. Here's on board with Esteban Gutierrez, who is our second engine failure in today's race. Disappointment there from the Haas driver to have his race over, but I don't think he was battling for any points in today's race. But here we are, lap 27, the final lap of today's race, starting lap 28. Can we hold on to P4? So far, we're gaining about 6 or 8 points at the moment in the championship. Not too sure on that at the moment, but here we are on board with the Williams driver of Felipe Massa. He's right on our tail. He's the best. He has the best chance of taking away this 4th position and helping out Carlos Sainz in the championship as we go through the S's section at this stage of the lap. Looks like we're holding on to this 4th position very well. The tyres at this stage of the race are really starting to grade. But one person who has had a flawless race is Jolyon Palmer, who are putting Renault back on the top step once again. They haven't had a good season this season since I've left them. They had a very good start, but the middle and the end hasn't been good. But they're starting to get back on it with a win there with Jolyon Palmer. Great result there for the Renault driver, and one that he will be very, very happy with indeed. As we're on board with myself once again going down the DRS straight. Just look at the train that I've got behind me as Felipe Massa gets caught up behind me going to the left hand side, which I had already defended. There was more room on the right as Sebastian Vettel then goes into the back of the Williams driver. They're going side by side at the moment through these corners. Just look at the train that is caught up behind me. That is a huge train of cars that I've got right now, and that just shows you how slow I am around this circuit and how bad the tyre wear is right now. I think it's about 60-70% at this stage of the race. But Sebastian Vettel and Felipe Massa still going side by side, but it looks like Seb has got it round the outside of that long right-hander. But nevertheless, we're going to be coming through the final 2 corners now. It's been a really good race from us, 18th on the grid to take home a 4th position. What a fantastic result for us. A lot of points gained in the championship, but a fantastic 4th position in today's American Grand Prix. So a great race there from myself. 4th position in today's race. And Nico Hülkenberg also getting on the podium. A great result for Force India all in all. Jolyon Palmer wins today's race by 20 seconds over Nico Hülkenberg. And 1 minute and 11 seconds over us. So a great and a flawless race there from Jolyon Palmer. Nico Hülkenberg, like I said, he finished in 2nd. A great result for him. Nico Rosberg getting Mercedes back up there, finishing in 3rd. We finished in 4th. A great result from 18th on the grid, and one I'm very, very happy with indeed. Sebastian Vettel finished in 5th with Felipe Massa 6th. Kevin Magnussen, Carlos Sainz in the end managed to finish in 8th. Do not know what he was doing in today's race, and I'm not happy with him. And the rivalry between the two of us is certainly starting to heat up. Daniel Ricciardo, he finished today's race in 9th. And Roman Grosjean finishing down in 10th position, gaining the last championship point for today's race. looking further down the field, and Danny Kvyat, who started in 13th position, finishes in 13th position. Not a good day for the Toro Rosso team at all. Max Verstappen starting today's race on second, running there for quite a long time, but unfortunately finishing down in 14th place, and not a good race from him. And then Jenson Button and Kimi Räikkönen are two. No, and Esteban Gutierrez, sorry, are three DNFs for today's race. Let's have a look, though, at how this result affects us in the driver's standings. As you can see in the driver's standings, the gap at the moment between the two of us is 47 points. We are starting to make a bit of ground on Carlos Sainz, but it's not enough at the moment. We are certainly on the back foot at this stage of the season, but there is still potential to try and win the Drivers' Championship. With 3 races left to go, we are going to drive our heart out in those last 3 races to try and win the Drivers' World Championship. Can we do it? It's going to be a tough one, but we are going to try all the way till the very end. But that is it for today's American Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Taking a look at the rivalry update after today's race. And as you can see, we lost out to Danny Kvyat, but that was only because of qualifying. He was on 29 out of 30 points, so that's not really too surprising at all. But looking at the resource points, 1,335 resource points to spend. That's not enough to upgrade the downforce, but it is enough to upgrade the chassis weight. But we are going to wait till the Mexican Grand Prix to upgrade the downforce, because heading into tracks like Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi, I do feel like downforce is going to be good. Hopefully we can get a sponsorship bonus or something like that to be able to upgrade the chassis weight, but that hasn't happened as of yet. And we would like that. We would like a sponsorship bonus to try and upgrade the chassis weight before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But looking at the Constructors' Championship, because we didn't actually have a chance to take a look at that after the actual race. So 123 points is the gap at the moment between ourselves and Toro Rosso. And the cut-off point at this stage of the season is 129 points. So like I said last time out of the Japanese Grand Prix, we need to literally get to 1-2 in every single race, and also hope the Toro Rosso crash out in every single race, which, you know, the season that Toro Rosso have been having, it doesn't look very likely. So it looks like the Constructors' Championship has got away from us, but in terms of the Drivers' one, I'm still going to be fighting for that. But that's it for today's American Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to this channel for daily F1 2016 career mode. If you've already seen, we've had Japan yesterday, we have Malaysia the day before, and we will be sticking to that daily F1 career mode with Mexico tomorrow, Brazil the next day, and Abu Dhabi, the season finale, will be the day after that. So if you are looking forward to that, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and I will see you next time at the Mexico Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.